Hello there everyone, and welcome to another edition of Lydia's Crafty Corner with me, Lydia, in my little crafty corner. So today I'm going to be sharing with you these 3 cards, and they each use a different ink blending tool to give the ink blended effect that is in the background. So to start with, I am going to be using a piece of white cardstock, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm going to be using the same ink colours on each of the backgrounds. So I'm going to be using Mountain Mist, Volcano Lake, Lagoon, and also Galactic Stream. The first tool I'm going to be using is a stencil brush. So this has really long bristles on it, and they're really quite hard and stiff. I mean, the bottoms are softer than the tops, but they do keep their stiffness when you are working with them. So I'm going to start with my darkest colour, which is the Galactic Stream. And as you can see, this stencil brush gives a really soft look. So the colour is not as dark as it would be from the ink pad using this tool. So if you wanted a really soft look to your blending, this may be a tool that you would like to look into. So once I have used my Galactic Stream, I've then just brushed my brush off onto a piece of kitchen roll. And I'm then going to go into the next colour, the next darkest colour, which is the beautiful Lagoon. And as you can see, this is really soft when I'm working with it. It's giving me a really soft colour, and the blend is really quite good. I do like the blending on this one, although I do wish that it was a little bit darker. But I believe that if you keep going over the colours again and again, you will get a darker colour that way. But if you're after a softer look with your colours, this one may be one that you might. So here is the panel complete, and you can see that the blending is really pretty there. So for the next panel, I'm going to be using the traditional blending tool. So this is one of the small ink blending tools. It's got a little bit of foam on the top that you can attach with a piece of velcro. So again, I'm going to be using the same colours. So I'm going to start off with my darkest as before, because we're creating a beautiful ombre look. And I did start with the Galactic Stream. I'm then going to move on to the Lagoon. So here is the panel complete, and you can see that the blending is really pretty there. So for the next panel, I'm going to be using the traditional blending tool. So this is one of the small ink blending tools. It's got a little bit of foam on the top that you can attach with a piece of velcro. So again, I'm going to be using the same colours. So I'm going to start off with my darkest as before, because we're creating a beautiful ombre look. And I did start with the Galactic Stream. I'm then going to move on to the Lagoon, Volcano Lake, and then the Mountain Mist. And as you can see, this tool is adding a lot more ink down onto my panel. So if you're after a more bolder look, this one may be a tool that you would want to look into further. And as you can see, this is a really great blend that we do have going on, but it's really more intense than the one we did with the stencil brush. I'm now going to be using a makeup brush. So I think this is made for foundation, but I do find that this works really well to add the ink to your cardstock. So again, I'm going to be using the same colours as before, and I'm starting with the beautiful Galactic Stream. And I must say that this tool is really nice to use. It's really soft bristles on it, so it adds the ink really well, and I do like the feel of it. It feels really nice. I don't know why, but it does. So once I have finished with the Galactic Stream, again, I'm going to move on to the Lagoon, then the Volcano Lake, and then the Mountain Mist. As before, this is adding a lot of ink down onto my cardstock, so it's making a really intense colour, but the blending with this is really super easy. So I do recommend this tool a lot. So it may be something that you can find in your local stores. Just, it's for makeup, but it's used really well for ink. So again, I'm moving on to the last one, which is the Mountain Mist. And as you can see, I was really enjoying using this tool, that I nearly covered the whole piece of cardstock rather than the less that I did with the others. So as you can see, the first one we did use with the stencil brush. The second one was using the little blending tool, and then last but not least was using this little makeup brush here. So as you can see, this one is really, really intense and it's my favorite. I'm then going to add a little bit of interest to these backgrounds. So I'm going to flick on some water. This is just clean water. I'm then going to flick on some of the iridescent ink spray. So as you can see, I'm just using the little tool that's supposed to spray it, but I'm just flicking it on instead. And then I'm going to use the exact same technique to add some of the pure white, just to add a little bit of splatter then. And then I'm going to move on to the potted plants stamp set, and I'm going to use some of the images from here to add to my beautiful backgrounds that we've just created. So I'm just going to pop in 3 different flower tops. I'm then going to ink these up in an ombre look. So I'm going to start off with the little moss mini ink cube. I do find that this is really easier to use the little cubes for this technique, but you can do it with the larger pads. Once I've inked up places that I want to add a little bit more darkness to, I'm then going to take a little finger dauber and I'm just going to move this ink around a little bit. So this is blending it out, so I'm not going to have those harsh lines that you do get if you were just to pop the colour down onto the stamp without doing it. So as you can see, I've tried to add it to the darkest places of the leaves. I'm then going to use the olive ink. Again, I'm using the little mini ink cube. I'm adding a bit more ink this time around. Again, I'm going to take the little finger dauber to blend these ink onto the rest of the stamp. So it's going to give me a beautiful ombre look there. Once I have done that, I'm just going to stamp that back over the one that we've already just stamped. And I'm then going to take the little parrot mini ink cube and I'm going to ink all over this. Again, I'm just going to ink it all up. So I'm not going to use the little finger dauber on this, and this is going to blend the other inks together really, really well. So I do love this effect and I love how beautiful it looks as well. So there is that one there complete. I'm then going to do the other 2 plants in exactly the same way. So I'm going to add the moss to the darkest part where I think it would be. Take the finger dauber, ink this out a little bit, then take the olive, stamp this a little bit further into the image, again with the finger dauber, and I'm then going to use the parrot over the whole bit of the image. So as you can see, this has given us a really great versatile look. It's an ombre look, but it's going to give us depth and shade to some of the solid stamps that you have in your collection. Once I have finished all of the tops of the plants, I'm then going to add some pots. So I'm just going to pop 3 of the pots onto my little card panel that I do have going on here and ink it up using some jet black ink. For the sentiments, I wanted to do white ones on black, so I'm just going to add 3 of the sentiments into place on my Misty. As you can see, I've added a little bit of baby powder to my black cardstock. I'm going to ink my stamps up using some embossing ink. I'm then going to add some pure white embossing powder over these embossed embossed images, and I'm then going to heat this up to give me a beautiful white sentiment on black cardstock. I'm then going to use the coordinating dies for the potted plants stamp set, and I'm going to place these around the images and use my die cutting machine to cut these all out. Once I've done this, I do in fact trim my little sentiments into strips as well, so I have all my pieces ready to go. I have added all of my panels onto some card bases, so they're 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and all I'm going to do is add my sentiments onto these. I'm just adding a little bit of foam tape behind them just to give them a little bit of depth and dimension to them and a little bit of interest onto the card. For the pots, I'm just going to add these onto the little sentiment strip that we've just popped up. And I'm just going to add this on with some glue tape because we don't want any more dimension on the pots because we want those little leaves to pop forward a little bit more. So once I've done the pot into place, I'm then going to add the little tops of the flowers or plants using some foam tape just to add some more depth and dimension. And I do love the look of this black, white, a little bit of green, and that beautiful ombre background that we have going on at the back as well. So once I have all my pots and my plants into place, I did turn my cards over and just trim off the excess from the back of the sentiment strip and some of the little leaves that did pop off the side of my cards. So here are the cards complete, and this background was the one using the stencil brush. You can see how beautiful that does look, very, very soft. This one using the little traditional ink blending tool, a little bit more vibrant, but this one was my favorite. And this was using the little makeup brush here. So it's really, really soft bristles and gives a really great effect. So here are the cards complete. I really do hope that you've enjoyed the video and that you like the techniques that were involved. Maybe this has helped you decide which kind of blending tool you would like to use in future. So again, thank you so much for watching, everyone. I really do hope that you've enjoyed the video. And if you want to watch any more, there are a couple more here to watch at your own leisure. Also, if you want to subscribe to the channel, you won't miss out on any videos that we do upload. Again, thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you again really, really soon. Bye-bye.